We are live today. I've got the pleasure, absolute pleasure of having my 53 challenge partners, our executive vice president of Asia Pacific and one of my longtime mentors, Kevin Buckman, with us. Kevin's coming to us from Taiwan. It's about what, Kevin, 8 in the morning right now, or 7?
Yeah, 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning. I know I've been texting you since 7, but that's okay. You're an early riser. And
I was already in doing corings already. Started at 5 this morning before people went to work. So that's why I didn't answer your text.
That's a perfect reason to not answer any texts. And next to Kevin, of course, one of my great friends and business partners, our Vice President, Andrew Weissman. Andrew, great to have you on as well.
And great to be with you, Mr. Winkler, and Mr. Buckman. It's going to be a nice session. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. We haven't been together like this, I guess, since World Conference, right? When the three of us were together for that presentation. Hey, if you would, tell us where you are from so we know you are hearing us, okay? I'm assuming you are, but in the chat, go ahead and let us know where you're coming from. Oh, we have Mr. Cullen Haskins on with us today, gentlemen.
Awesome.
Oh, we have people. Andy Webb's on here as well. I just saw him go through. Shelley Bow from sunny Wisconsin. We'll see about that in a little bit, Shelley. Let's jump right into this, guys. What do you think? We got a lot to cover and some great things, guys. For those of you who are online with us, text your teammates to jump on. I think they're things. I am going to share my screen right now so we can jump into some of the different things that we are gonna talk about. You know, Kevin, a lot of this has come from what you have done in Asia as well, you know, with the Master UFO program. You have really taken that and turned it into something incredible there. I want to congratulate you on that first. And you know, you've really shared with Andrew and I and the rest of the team sort of how you've done it, what you've done. And we put that together between this and our 53 challenge. Tell us what got you so focused on that to begin with, Kevin.
Well, you know, taking a look at, you know, our business model, you know, and where I became inspired and really enamored was, you know, we developed the Master UFO program many years ago. I'm talking 15, 18, maybe 20 years ago. And and really where it came from was, it was really all the activities associated with the Getting Started guide that was created even long before that. And so it's really taking the tasks and activities associated with the Getting Started guide, culling them out. And Andrew and I had put them into a weekly accountability report, I want to say maybe 20 years ago. Never got much traction. Not many people used it, but it was a great way to establish an environment or a culture of accountability within your organization. People want to be held accountable. What gets measured gets done. And so we had a lot of various things. I know you ran one. We had one with Elizabeth initiated one, accountability. We had some campaigns earlier on, but we never created one to where this is just standardized, coordinated. This is what we do, you know, across the entire shop.com, marketingamericashop.com worldwide. So what really got me going was I attended a 90-day fast track kickoff that JR did on the boat back with Pam Bowling and a few people, maybe 3-4 years ago. And I attended that and I was like, wow, this is what we really need to do. And we just need to do this in an ABC pattern, you know, and really the 90-day fast track, it really, you know, it was a way to get people's attention, but it's not really fast. It's the 2 to 3 year plan is what it is. It's the 8 to 12 quarter plan. And so really, I just, you know, got that and we made it a priority. And, you know, we've had a great success. I mean, those are the, you know, those 20%, those activities right there, those are the 20% of the activities are going to get you 80% of your results. And that's where we need to get people focused, and then collectively, we get some momentum. And it's really about getting, as Dennis used to say, it's always about getting Big Mo on your side.
Big Mo, he did say that a lot.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
Well, this is, so what we've taken here is really taking what Kevin's done with the Master UFO, and then all of us put together with our Stay the Course, Stay Focused 53 challenge. And what we've got is a training outline. And Andrew, I know we're going to have some fun with this as we went through it. We'll have different trainers every week that'll be training. But one of the things I'm really excited about is we're going to also be recognizing people that are going to be on the leaderboard. We're going to have them come on with us and give some training on how they're doing it and what they're doing. That leaderboard starts next week. So this is going to be really fun when you take a look at all the different things we have on here.
Yeah, it's going to be a valuable, 3 months and then going beyond that. And just to reiterate what Kevin said, the fundamentals, of course, have stayed the same for almost 30 years, right? The tasks and activities that are outlined in the Getting Started guide, once again, are the same tasks and activities that ensure success if they're implemented on a consistent basis. And, JR, of course, and the rest of the team, we look to quantify, Kevin, and put these into categories, which ultimately, the result was the creation of the Master and Franchise Owner program. And I like the way JR explains it. If you become an official, Master and Franchise Owner, then your business is really open. Obviously, if you do these things, and it's going to increase the chances for success. And with Kevin's leadership in the Asia Pacific region, he just simply, look to lead, guide, and coach the different markets and duplicate this process and these tasks and activities. And, I think everybody around the world sees that the levels that are being achieved are happening more so in Asia Pacific, not because they're have any more talent or anything that special. Everybody's special in our community, but they're simply being consistent in becoming master-owned franchise owners, requalifying as master-owned franchise owners, and duplicating that within their organization. You see, and so ultimately this program, combined with the Stay Focused, Stay the Course 53 challenge, with everybody around the globe connected and staying held accountable and supporting each other, I think it's going to be a great, 5-6 months as we work toward the 30th annual international convention.
Yeah, it really will be. We've had a great first 3 months of the year as a team, and that was put, you're so right on everything you said. And let's give a quick review, team, of what it takes to be a master unfranchise owner. And as Kevin mentioned, boy, this program was put together a while ago. And we've seen the results. This was one of the first things, Kevin, that ever attracted me to really going hard at the business. I saw the differences in income people could make if they treated it serious and how they did it. And, to do it are some pretty simple things. Complete the shopping annuity assessment once per calendar year. Have a subscription for the unfranchised management system. Well, everybody should have both of those right away. I mean, that should be something we can do very simply. Whoops. Generate a total of 1,500 BV of product in the respective quarter. And, Kevin, I know we've talked a lot, we look at that and we say, you should be able to do at least 150 on your own, right? And then 350 through your customers per month. That's 500 a month. 500 a month gets us to 1,500. And it's we're going to show you, it's really easy to track as well now. And that's just between you and your customers. Generate 300 IBV. So here we're talking US. Obviously, if you're coming from another country, it may be slightly different in terms of your amount of IBV you have to do. But again, that comes down to 100 a month. It comes down to being intentional, though, guys. I got to tell you, this last quarter ended, and there were a couple things that I wanted to accomplish. And one of them was to make sure I'm spending every penny I can through my business. We were taking our kids out to Top Golf. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Top. Andrew, you've been to, it's a fun time, but it's a little bit of a pricey date. So I went on and I got Top Golf gift certificates, which are available in our shop.com site, and they paid me 9.9% IBV. I have never felt so good paying for 6 people's dinner, drinks, and golf as I felt right there, Kevin, because I had the ability to generate some great IBV while I was doing that. So it was fun. And then personally sponsor 1 qualified and active unfranchised owner per calendar quarter. And again, that's 1. I think with everything opening up, with what's going on, many of you are going to do more than that, but this gives you the minimums to hit this in place. Andrew, you want to walk us through these?
Yeah, sure. I mean, everything that's within the criteria to become a master and franchise owner, I think if you sort of put a little focus on it, and like you said, Jim, are intentional about it, it's nothing that anybody can't do. It's all very duplicatable, right? And so just to round out the rest of the criteria, number 6 is attend or conduct a new unfranchised owner training. Of course, as a certified executive coordinator, you can conduct a basic 5 and a new unfranchised owner training. Attend or conduct an executive coordinator certification training per year. The others are quarterly. And then having your 3 tickets to the next major event, which of course in the United States and around the world, if people are able to make it, hopefully it's in August at the 30th annual international convention. And then lastly,
not hopefully, let's make it, right? If you're here, let's get there.
The reason why I said hopefully, from a travel standpoint,
around the world, we understand. But if you're in the U.S. or Canada and it's open, let's get there and be live.
I'm just hopeful that everybody that can make it will make it. That's the major point in person. I mean, it's going to be very special. And as you know, there's already been a lot of work going into it, over the past few weeks. And lastly, earning $900 in commissions within the quarter. And or if you're not earning the commissions yet, you can complete the basic 5 diagnostic tests and score greater than or equal to 50%. The diagnostic test is a great analysis of how efficient you are at implementing the basic 5 fundamentals. Sometimes we don't really realize all the little components that ensure efficiency in implementing this on a consistent basis. But once again, there's nothing in there that anybody can't do. It's just a matter of being intentional, being focused, and staying the course and having fun in implementing these until they become habitual. So that's it.
Yeah. And that was a quick, easy way to look at it, because people keep expecting it to be so much more. And I think Kevin said it early on, Kevin, it's blocking and tackling, right? It's the basics.
Yeah, it's the basics and the fundamentals. I mean, going right back to, JR initiating that 90-day fast track, with the 2 or 3 groups to get them going. People ask me the next chapter. What's the next chapter? The next chapter is let's read the first chapter. In other words, because that's really what we did. That's what JR was doing by assembling those people back, together and getting reconnected with what made us all successful in the very, very beginning. The MUFO program really came from analyzing what Elizabeth, Frank, Lou, I just went all the people, I just took like the top 12 earners. Okay. Took at the height of that when they made the biggest jump in their business and analyzed basically these 5, 6 focused areas to see what they were doing. And that's how the MUFO program, was established. These were the activities that they were doing consistently in a given quarter. So we didn't pull these numbers and we didn't pull these activities out of our ear. They were actually looked at, from data in the back office.
And of course, then analyzing the results of people who are implementing this and duplicating this, obviously, those who do it, the chances for success and the results have proven that it obviously works.
It works.
That's right. It flat out works. Anytime you can measure, monitor, and be able to adjust, you can succeed. If you don't know what's happening, you're going to struggle, and this allows you to do that. Now, where can we find some of this information? For those of you who are new, we're going to give you a quick run where you can find it. You can go to unfranchise.com, go to where it says business, go to reports, and you'll see where I have highlighted there the management area. When you click management, it's going to pop up all of these. And I want to point out a couple things. One is the Master UFO program. That's what we're going to click on to check everything going on with Master UFO. But I wanted you to also notice the potential Master UFO qualifiers report, because a lot of people aren't aware of this yet. These are people on your team who may have hit 2/3 of the things that need to be done between BV and IBV, and those will show up in that potential Master UFO qualifiers report. What's so great about that, let's say that Kevin is at 2/3 of that, and we've got a month to go. It's where I could call Kevin up and say, hey, Kev, what do we need to do? You need a sponsorship and you need to get one training done, and you got this thing done. Let's get in front of some people. And that way I can help coach better because I know who's close. And the third item we have boxed here is our weekly accountability report. You know, for a lot of people, Andrew, it used to be sort of hard for people to find it. They'd be like, well, where do I go again? And I'd go, oh, it's real easy. Then I'd have to search for it. So we made it really simple. It's one of our icons. You can click on to go to your weekly accountability report. These are 3 things I want you to be aware of, but let's go to the Master UFO first. And when you click Master UFO, it's going to pull up your date. It's going to give you the quarter you're looking at. You can go backwards, by the way, and you can go backwards to see quarters you've done previously. I can also put in names in here. If I wanted to find what Andrew's been doing, I could put someone in my organization. I can't just put a random name in there, but someone in my organization I could put in, and I could check and see what they're doing as well. After doing that, it moves into things like, have I completed my shopping annuity assessment once per year? We mentioned that earlier. Right there, it'll show you, yes, you have, no, you haven't. Where am I at on BV? It gives you a standing look at it, and you can open up where it says view qualified orders to make sure you're getting your BV. And that's coming from what you do and what your customers do, guys. I want to make sure we are a retail-based, retail-driven business, and that's what that does. And same with our IBV, being able to do that. And then it shows whether we've sponsored someone, have we earned our commissions, and it goes right down and it shows, have we taken our trainings? Now the trainings, Andrew, are the only thing that they actually have to put in on their own. Everything else is automatically calculated from the company. So the only thing I have to put in is who trained me, what date it was, and where I took the training. I don't even have to put in the tickets. Those are registered for me. I don't have to put in the income. That's registered for me. The BV and IBV, that's taken care of. That's how simple this is to do. So when I do put the trainings in, I click save. And by clicking save, it'll save that information in there for me as I continue to look at it. But you know, that's the Master UFO program. I don't know, Kevin, if there's a lot more to say, or Andrew, a lot more to say on it other than follow it, do it, and enjoy it.
Well, it's nice to have it. I'm sure, Kevin, you want to say something, but let me just mention this. You know, it's nice to have the new report. You know, you mentioned earlier, Jim, measure, monitor, adjust, and control, right? Well, and Kevin, you've always said what gets measured gets done, or what gets scheduled gets done, right? So the whole point is staying on track and being consistent and implementing these fundamentals of the business. And as most people know, you know, there is the main incentive here, of course, is enabling individuals to get closer toward or making progress toward their personal and financial goals, utilizing or following or implementing this business vehicle. That's it. That's the main incentive. But of course, we've added an additional incentive beyond that with 6 months of free shipping and an additional volume placement by becoming a master unfranchised owner. I just wanted to mention that as an additional incentive, which of course is nice, you know, unnecessary, because the main thing's the main thing, right? And reaching your personal and financial goals, but it's there. And
very good. Thank you for mentioning that, Andrew. You're right. It's not the main thing, because the main thing is building your business. But boy, what an incentive, 6 months of free shipping, additional placement. Kevin, I know you wanted to add something as well.
Well, you know, just before this is a journey. It's not an event. It's a 2 to 3 year business. Every UBP, unfranchised business presentation you attend, we talk about, you know, the 2 to 3 year versus the 40, 45 year. Okay. Everybody seems, as soon as the 2 to 3 year, it's like, well, I'm looking for the shortcut to the 2 to 3. No, the 2 to 3 is the shortcut to the 40 to 45. Okay. This is the shortcut. but it's a 2 to 3 year plan. It's a journey. It's not an event. It's a process. Okay. It's not the 24 to 36 day plan. It's the 24 to 36 month plan. And the thing is everybody, when they approach it, need to realize this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. Okay. You want to sprint, go find another business model. Okay. This is something where you're going to have sustainable supplemental income, and it has to be built a certain way. Now, the reason I share this is because you've got to prepare yourself in that this is going to, the person that is going to win this race is going to be the person that continues to run, not necessarily the fastest person. So my point is, okay, prepare yourself. It's, the most difficult part of, qualifying as a master unfranchised owner, requalifying as a master unfranchised owner, is staying with something persistently consistent, okay, for a 13-week period, so that, as Cullen talks about a lot, it's about getting into a rhythm of the business, the tasks and activities, to the point where after 13 weeks, and some of us, it's going to take 26 weeks for it to become a habit. In other words, all of a sudden, we tie our shoes, we put our makeup on, we do whatever we do in the morning, but we don't think about it as a task or activity. It's just something we do. We never think of it. We don't even give it a second thought after we become doing it. Okay. So the key here is it's staying with something week to week to week to week. Just focus on the weeks. Don't focus on at 3 years. Focus just on this week, next week, on a weekly basis, and just be disciplined to make sure that we schedule in, we make the time, we take the time to make the time to integrate the business activities into our everyday lives. And that's Kevin, the beauty of the model.
And Kevin, just first of all, I like that, persistently consistent. And secondly, we can only attack the business or develop the business one day at a time. And so Kevin, I think you'll agree that just by identifying what that daily task is or activity is or goal is for yourself, by satisfying that, obviously, then each week will satisfy what needs to be satisfied. And that ultimately everything works out,
Yep.
But it's about that persistent consistency. I like
Yep.
that.
Which goes right back to what our partner always said to us, which was stay focused and stay the course. And really leads, Kevin, you led right into, from the Master UFO program, the 53 challenge. And I think we were talking yesterday, and Kevin said, you guys are tricky. I get what you're doing. You're getting everybody to do the 53 challenge, because by doing the 53 challenge, they're really doing Master UFO. And I said, you're right, because we want them to focus on what needs to be focused on to do what they should do to be able to make money. And that's really where this comes in. And Kevin, why don't you jump in and tell us a little bit about this?
Well, everybody can, hopefully everybody can tell based on the theme. This is really being done in honor of Dennis. Okay. Dennis, one of his favorite sayings was stay focused and stay the course, always. Okay. When anybody was having a challenge, anybody was struggling, even when we weren't, and we were on a roll. Okay. It was always stay focused and stay the course, so but in order to have a plan, okay, which the course was in his mind is your plan of action. That's the course. Okay. You've already established where you want to go. Those are your goals and your objectives. And then developing a plan of action to get there. That was the course. Okay. The focus was your goals. That was your commitment. Okay. In other words, by staying focused on why you're doing this business, what you want to achieve, okay, or obtain or secure based on, implementing this business, that was the goal. And then from the goal, he really felt by simply taking the goals, all right, qualifying them, making sure they are truly going to be something that inspires you and motivates you to stay the course. Okay. In other words, implement and execute the plan. He felt that if you really had something that inspired you, motivated you, had, very strong goals and objectives, a sense of why. By applying base 10 and 7 strong, you could identify, you could create what your business needed to look like in order to achieve the income level necessary to get what you wanted out of the business. And so he was really big on, you got to have your goals. You got to qualify and make sure that they are real, not something you just would like, but something that is going to motivate you. And at the same time, quantify them so that you can put a plan of action together with your senior partner, to make sure. And right there, that this is key right from the beginning. Without that, it's going to be very difficult for you to have the staying power to do something week after week after week after week, okay, for 13 weeks. And then another 13 weeks, and then another 13 weeks. So it's very important that, we have what we need to focus.
Amen.
So good. I went and got my pen, Kevin, because I was thinking my man he'd be beating on me if I did this presentation without my pin on. He always, we'd be getting ready to walk out on stage. He'd straighten it up. He'd say, get that Master UFO pin looking good so people see it, right? I
got more verbal beatings over this by him than I care to share.
But it's what made it really wonderful. AW, why don't you take us through some of these categories in the 53 challenge?
Sure. And I love the fact that our entire global community of entrepreneurs, obviously those who have accepted the challenge to stay focused and stay the course and implement these proven tasks and activities, everybody's going to support each other. And that, as we all know, the whole is always greater than the sum of the parts. We can go a lot further with a lot more strength working collectively as a team than if any one person were to try to do it individually. So I think for the first time in the history of the company, we've never really had a program or an initiative where everybody is doing it at the same time and the same thing around the world. So it's powerful, right? So the categories in the Stay Focused, Stay the Course 53 challenge, the first one is new personally sponsored qualified unfranchised owners. Obviously, as a master unfranchised owner, the criteria is personally sponsoring one per quarter. Now, that doesn't mean you have to stop at one, but that's the minimum to satisfy the criteria. And that's what we do. We expand distribution through personally sponsoring qualified new people into our organization. Jim or Kevin, any additional thoughts on that first piece?
Qualified, just making sure that some of our new people understand that means they have ordered their 200 BV in their 001, which they may have done with a fast start kit, or they may have ordered product they want, but that's what a qualified unfranchised owner is. And it's not about how many people you register. It's about doing it the right way, but doing so much of it that it leads to a lot. That's the key. It's about the process.
Well, I mean, onboarding new unfranchised owners, this is really how we sell and distribute product. This is how we increase the sales and distribution of our products, goods, and services. It's by expanding our sales and distribution network. That's how we expand sales. It's not necessarily by you having 65 customers and getting it. It's about everybody having 10 to 15 repeat retail customers that you're constantly increasing share of product that they're buying from you as we introduce new products into our, into the model. So personally sponsoring qualified unfranchised owners, that's really that's the heart of our business. It's the heart of how we sell and distribute product. So it is, that's why it's there at the very top. I mean, that's what we do.
And then leaning on, referring back to the Getting Started guide, which is the base, which helps to create the foundation for your business, right? It teaches about the evaluation approach, the no decision close, which leads to the trial run process. And that through that process, if we're consistent with that, the individuals that are worth our time, energy, and effort will identify themselves as the ones we should personally sponsor because they're developing and growing and taking action by identifying other people and leading to customers. I mean, it really is that simple, and we got to get into that flow. So that's the first category. The second category is new BV sales. And new BV sales is defined by a first-time purchase of a product by a new customer or an existing customer. And Jim, you explained this really well at the conference as to why we did it that way. If you wouldn't mind elaborating on that.
Well, Dennis always wanted us to increase share of customer. It was very important. If you sell one product to one customer, you're not important. They can switch. If you have 6 products they buy, if they have 6 products they buy from you, you've now become important in their life. So new BV means we're not just settling for a bottle of OPC going to Kevin. It means I'm saying to Kevin, I know you love the OPC 3, meaning I'm trying to expand my product line into what he's doing, whether it's in health and nutrition, whether I'm expanding into a different category completely, in fact, but I'm expanding BV sales to more products per person.
So now we've talked about new personally sponsored qualified unfranchised owners, new BV sales. The third challenge category is exposing the unfranchised business plan to personal prospects. So it goes back to what I just mentioned, using the evaluation approach. Okay, we want to be consistent, at least 2 per week, exposing or showing the plan to qualified people. And any additional comments?
Yeah, I just want to make sure when we say showing the business plan, we're talking about the entire business plan. I know a lot of us break it up into part 1, part 2, part 1, taking it down to the difference, would you like to see how the 2 to 3 year plan works? And then going into, the overview of establishing the business as well as the compensation plan. What we mean here is someone who has seen the entire plan, not just part 1. We're talking about the complete plan, okay, to be eligible to be entered into, satisfying this criteria.
Which does mean, Kevin, let's say I looked at a part 1 a couple days ago, and then I look at part 2, which is the MPCP. This is the important part.
Right.
Now I've seen that. Now that's 1 plan done, not 2. It's 1. It's every time the MPCP.
The complete.
I want to make sure people are clear with that.
The complete plan.
Right. So for those out there that don't know, I just want to say there's part 1 is from the beginning of the unfranchised business presentation up until the 5 steps. And then part 2 is the 5 steps to the end. So to your point, Jim and Kevin, both of which makes up one plan, one presentation. Okay, the next.
We just have to say that because we know we're dealing with a lot of entrepreneurs, and everybody's looking a way to maximize their effort.
Yes. So the 4th category within the Stay Focused, Stay the Course 53 Challenge is personal orders from partner stores. Now, we all know that the creation of BV is where money is going to be made much more quickly, in addition to, of course, the retail profits. IBV tends to accumulate a little bit slower, for obvious reasons. However, we all should be converting our spending into earning while developing the business. I mean, it's just what we do. And Jim, you alluded to it as far as building share of customer. And as unfranchised owners, we want to first identify the products that we're purchasing at retail stores or elsewhere. And then we want to buy our own exclusive products over a short period of time, right? And then everything else that we are purchasing that we need or that we want that we can't get through our exclusive products, we want to be purchasing through the partners on shop.com. So we're further converting our spending into earning and developing that into a habit. Now, these orders from partner stores are only calculated by the order, not every individual item of that order. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I got one comment. I just saw a comment go across the screen. That's great, but the partner store orders, are not asked for in the weekly accountability report. But everybody needs to go check the weekly accountability report because it is part of the MUFO action plan now. Okay, Jim, myself, Andrew Chi, we revised the weekly accountability report to not only include what we want to do for the 53 challenge, but it's something we want to do to modify the weekly MUFO weekly accountability report anyway. So everybody that's been doing the 90-day MUFO action plan and doing the weekend, please go do that. Go revisit it before you start 3 days ago or 6 days ago when you do this, because when you go to submit your weekly accountability report this week ending, for week ending Friday, you're going to find that you're going to be asked, how many orders did you place from the partner store? So check yourself, when you come through the door.
As our partner Fat Joe says, yesterday's accountability form is not today's accountability form.
Right.
That's good. And people are already gone back and checked, and they're seeing that you're right,
Yeah.
Kevin. Okay, so the fifth and final category in this challenge is simply new registered preferred customers. Simple as that, right?
Do they have to order, Andrew? Do they have to place an order to be a preferred customer, or?
Not to my knowledge.
No, they do not.
They do not.
No.
We just want to make sure people understood that they do not have to place an order to be considered a preferred customer.
Right. And I mean, what we want to do is, we're going to get into, digital, you've heard JR talk about digital aggregation and, digital Listen, you got to have receptacles. You got to have data in which to, extract in order to make some, sound business decisions, direction, and, things like that. But the thing is you got to have somewhere to collect that data from. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact that there's probably 30 to 50% of all of our customers that are buying our products right now, they're not even registered as preferred customers. They're not even registered. And the thing is what we want to do is get into the point where we're, we have the receptacles to, for the receipt to go to, so that we can collect the data. Okay. But we need you to put the data in. Okay. So that's why the big focus here on registered preferred customers. Okay.
And you're so right, Kevin. We need, when you're putting in a sales order, a sales receipt, you need to submit it to a customer. And that's part of the reason for this. Let's jump in and talk a little bit about leaderboards. So as this starts, the first leaderboard you'll see will probably be a week from last Tuesday. So a week, next Tuesday, I believe, will be the first day, or Monday it'll pop up. And it'll show those 5 categories. How were people doing? And we'll have the top 11 per country, and we'll have the top 53 worldwide that will be listed. So obviously week 1, it'll be, a certain section of people, but then that'll build on week 2, and it'll be the year-to-date numbers for 2 weeks per country, the top 11, worldwide, top 53. And those will come when you go into unfranchised.com. Those are going to be right there popping up for you to take a look at. You also notice on here, Andrew, it shows your performance. So you can see, how am I comparing to the people in my top 11 in my country? How am I comparing to the people worldwide? I mean, you may be crushing it in your country, but you may not, be able to do as well against the worldwide. My dad always used to tell me when I was growing up as a tennis player, he'd say, you think you're pretty good right now? Because I thought I was pretty good. He said, let me tell you something. He said, you go to another city, there might be someone better than you. You go to another state, I'll guarantee you, there's going to be someone better than you. So you need to keep outworking everybody so that you can catch up to them, because you can't see them. Well, here you can see them. You can see what they're doing, and this gives you that advantage. And we're going to have a lot of fun having the people on the leaderboard on these calls with us as well to do that. So when we talk participation criteria, one of the things that a lot of things we've talked about is joining an accountability team. And why is that so important? Well, one thing is teamwork. So there's 3 of us on here. There's not one person trying to dominate. We're a team. And as a corporate entity, that is the way it has been drilled into our head. We are a team. And for you to succeed, you're going to do better as a team than you are as an individual, because other people will help hold you accountable. So how do you create this? And I'll lead on this, guys, and just run them through how to do it real quickly. But you go to that weekly accountability group we talked about. Now you can find it if you go to reports management. For me, I always forgot that. So I would just go right down here again and go to weekly accountability report, click that. It's going to take me there. There it says team. As you can see now, we've also, for those who haven't been in there in a week or so, we reordered these in the order they should be in, so that it's user friendly. There'll even be another update or two in the next few days. So keep your eyes on this. This is ongoing. And as we get your feedback on what you like or don't like, we're going to continue to update what makes the most sense to get the best results. But it says create a team. So what we do is we click that button if you haven't done it yet, and you create a team. Maybe it's Team Beast 53. You start adding in the email and the teammates that you're putting in there. You can see this is quite a Beast 53 team we have right here. Then you save it. Once you've saved it, you can see some people, and I know he's on with us sort of hiding right now, but Andrew Chi just did not validate his email address. Andrew, you need to get a little quicker on doing that, Andrew Chi. And Kevin, we're working with technology. So if they don't do that, I would call Kevin up and I'd say, hey, Kevin, buddy, you got to validate that email address because it's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Some people have said to me, what do I do if they don't validate it? And part of me wants to scream, pick the phone up and actually talk to them, because that's what we're trying to encourage here, right, Kevin? We're trying to encourage making sure people communicate as teammates would. From there, the person should receive an email that says, congratulations, you've been added to the weekly team. So great, I got that, I'm added in. I know I've tested this 3 or 4 different teams, so I know it's working great with it. Then from there, what happens? Then it's got to be accepted. So once I accept it, so if I get it, I'm not the creator. I was showing you how to create one. But now let's say it's Andrew who I've sent it to. He gets it. He clicks that. He clicks accept. When Andrew clicks accept, he's now part of the team. Now I want to show you something because this is really important. This is a team I've put together here, as you can see. When you have your team, ours is called the BV Express, all right? It'll say, if this is the team I registered for my 53 challenge when I went there, it now says 53 challenge next to it. Because there were sometimes people were in multiple teams and it was confusing them. Which one did I do for the 53 challenge? Which one is it? It's the one I do with my 53 challenge. It'll say it right next to it. Makes it really simple to understand. So now I just go again to unfranchise.com. I go to accept, where it says accept the challenge. I have to put my team name in. So again, let's review this. I have to be on a team, either create one or be on one, before I can accept the challenge for the 53 challenge. So now I'm going to put my team in there. And then I'm going to accept the challenge. Once I do that, it's almost like the Form 1000. It says you have registered to stay for the Stay Focused and Stay the Course 53 challenge. I get the green checkbox. I'm good. I know I'm now registered. And it makes it real easy to do with that. Andrew, Kevin, anything you guys want to add on to that?
No, I think you covered it very well. And for those of you who don't know, just very quickly, the reason why it's 53 is because that's the number Dennis wore. He played for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the reason why there's 11 is because there's 11 players on a football team, or, on offense and defense, obviously, you know what I mean? So just the connection to Dennis was the reason why we chose these numbers. Just wanted to mention that for those who didn't realize.
Yeah, and a big part of the 53 as well was Dennis always wanted everybody and expected of himself to do a little bit more. And so we ran the challenge for 52 weeks, but we know you're going to put in the effort as if it was 53 weeks worth of effort into 52 with that. Let's move into how to submit this stuff, guys, and give everybody a quick overview on this. So now that I'm part of a team, so we're going to come into Friday, right? And the report has to be submitted by no later than Sunday night. Now I'm going to tell you what I would do. submit it on Saturday, submit it on Friday night, set a reminder in your phone, put something in there. Don't wait till Sunday night at 11:58 Eastern and then text Kevin Buckman and say, Kevin, I'm having trouble. Because I'll guarantee you, A, Kevin's not going to answer the text, and B, he's going to say, great, you get no points for the week because you waited so late to do it. So do it early. You have all weekend. Just send a simple reminder on your phone and you go in to submit it. So what are you submitting? You just go up, you click your team name. It's going to automatically at that point fulfill what you need on there. So you don't have to put in any emails here or anything. The team, by clicking team name, that takes care of it, as we're showing right there. Then it's going to ask, what do we have to do? Well, and some of these have already been updated as we're talking about. So the verbiage will be just a bit different than what we had last week. But listen to one audio or video and you put the title and what you've learned. How many days this week did you read your goal statement or look at your dream board? And that's a pull down menu when you look at that. Oops, let me go back one. How many possibilities did you contact this week to evaluate products from your names list? And again, we've reworded that to make it a little bit easier, but it's a pull down and you just, how many did you do there? How many names did you add to your possibilities list this week? A pull down. Did you conduct trial size marketing 2 times this week? And probably this is going to take you all of 5 minutes to fill out. And we're going to even make it easier. I'm going to show you this in just a minute. Thanks to the team that came out with something that's going to be downloaded either tomorrow or the next day to even make this simpler for you to track. And of course, what is number 7 now will be number 6 if you go in your back office in unfranchised.com. And that's presented the business plan to 2 personal possibilities using the evaluation approach and no decision closed. And it'll talk about showing the MPCP as we talked about earlier. So it matches the description. It also allows you to pull down and add people. So you can actually add up to 15 people if you got it in front of 15 people while you're doing that. Same thing with attended or conducted corings, attended a GMTSS event. We've combined those into one now if you go into the back. I'm going to cover a couple things. Kevin, did you have something you wanted to add on either of those that I just went through?
No, just everybody needs to go in like after this webinar and go to the weekly accountability report and review and become familiar with everything Jim's going over. Okay. Yeah. We've made it so much easier, more efficient. We've dummied it down so that even Dennis and I could have done it. Okay. So if he and I can do it, that's the acid test for every single unfranchised owner in the field.
Oh, I love that. And you guys would be so busy doing things. That's why you didn't have time to worry about, is this accurate or is that 100? You're too busy making things happen. When you look at the progress report, a couple things, again, you're going to see this as it's updated. Your total personally sponsored UFOs. So that obviously, did you sponsor somebody? Team sponsor. Now, Kevin, this is a question I keep getting. And I just want to say, guys, come on.
Pick up the damn phone.
Yeah, people say, well, how do I know how many Andrew did and how many Kevin did? Because it doesn't show me on the report. Here's what we want you to do. I want you to set up a text group.
I did this on purpose. The purpose is it forces you to communicate with one another, okay? It forces you because you're supposed to be a team. A team is supposed to has a relationship with one another. They're in constant communication. And I'm gonna shut up, but Jim's gonna share with you something I have tried to teach everybody to do from day one using a text group.
Yeah, and it's as simple as if the 3 of us are a team, and by the way, we would recommend you have a minimum of 3 people on your team, maybe a max of about 7, but a minimum of 3. If 3 of us are a team, I'm going to have Andrew and Kevin on a text group, and I'm going to send them on Friday and say, hey, did you guys sponsor anyone this week? They're going to hit me back with yes or no or how many, and then I'm going to put my answer in there. That's how simple that is to be able to do. Someone was asking me, said, well, the total BV, what does that mean? Guys, again, don't overthink. If you're building out your 001, you're going to look, and you can look on Saturday morning, and you can say, what is the left of my 001 on your management reports? If you go to your sales report, management reports, What's the left of my 001 at for the week? What's the right of my 001 at for the week? That is your personal group. Everything else is accountability group. This is your personal group. I saw somebody write, well, it's not accurate till Sunday. I don't care. We're tracking this Saturday, or if you want to wait till Sunday, wait, but then you're going to track it against next Sunday. What is it at next Sunday? What's it at 2 weeks from now? So that at the end of a year, you can look and you can say, you know what? I started out at 500 and 600. And I ended the year, I'm doing 2,000 and 2,200 a week doing this. And that's
Right.
all you're trying to do is see if, am I improving throughout the year by staying the course? Am I right,
This-
guys?
Yes, yes. And let's not forget really what this is, okay? This 53 challenge is not about 53 challenge to maybe get you to do 90-day MUFO action plan. This is really designed for the 90-day MUFO action plan. And we're just including the 53 challenge so that when you enroll your team, okay, and you commit to becoming a master unfranchised owner, and you're trying to imprint and duplicate with, and develop, build, the ABC pattern to 7 strong. The whole objective is to do this and create a accountability. Okay. Now, you in the 90-day MUFO, you designate a business development center that you are focused on. Okay, that's what's confusing people. It says selected BDC. You selected a BDC with your teammates. I'm working on number 001 or 02 or 03 or 07, whatever it may be. And I'm going to track the left and right weekly group business volume for that center. Okay, that's the only time you're going to, include everything in your normal group. Everything else from a team is going to be your 90-day MUFO action plan team or your 53 challenge team. Okay. The only time you're really going to go to your back office for your own personal report is this group business volume so that you can measure and monitor and adjust what's going on with the center you're focused on. Guys, I need everybody to turn their brain on. Okay. I really do. Okay. You can do this. All right. Just think about what we're doing. Okay. This is not rocket science.
That's right. Well said, Mr. Buckman. Well said. So total personally registered PCs. Maybe I registered 2 PCs during the week. That's what I'm going to have there. Then I'm going to text. Guess what? Here comes text number 2. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Kevin. How many PCs did you guys register throughout the week? They hit me back. I did 3. I did 4. Let's see. I did 2. So I've got what? 3 and 4 and 2 is 9. So we put in 9 total team registered PCs. Total new personal product sales, same thing we've been talking about, how much new BV. And then it becomes how much do we have on our team new BV as well. So same thing there. Then attendance at GMTSS events. So again, during new team product sales, what am I going to do? I'm going to text Kevin and I'm going to text Andrew and I'm going to say, what do you guys have for new BV? They're going to say 300 and 150 and whatever I have, and we add it together. So guys, and then I'm just going to send my report. Okay. After I fill that in, here's what I wanted to show you that's new. And I think you guys like this will be coming out either tomorrow or the next day. And thank you, Andrew Chi, for taking a lot of time to help put this together. But what it is we were on a team meeting actually yesterday with our university sales team. And they said, it'd be a lot easier if we just could, have something everybody can carry. So while they're doing stuff, they can fill out some of this. So we put together basically what you've got online on this so that at the end of the week, you can sit down and you can just add it all in. Now, remember, listen to me. It's not going to be available until tomorrow or Friday. It'll be in support materials in unfranchised.com. And if you put in 53 challenge or accountability, it's going to pop up right there for you. It's going to be really wonderful to have for those of you on the go a lot to be able to track with this. And again, we're going to continue to try to make things better. Couple frequently asked questions, and then we're going to wrap up, guys. Is there a maximum number of people? And Andrew, Kevin, what do you guys think on that?
let's keep it manageable. Okay. I think if you go past 7, you're getting a little bit too many. If you, let's say, let's say like Elizabeth getting, a massive number of people in her organization to participate. Okay. And let's say she's got, I don't know, 100 people that want to participate and come in. Formulate teams of 7 or less. In other words, multiple teams of 7 or less, because we're about developing people and empowering them to be leaders. We want to create leaders. So let's start, we can use this as an opportunity to put people in leadership roles as far as being team captains of multiple, whether it be teams of 3, teams of 5, teams of 7, whatever it may be. But getting into, having a team of, 80 people and stuff. I mean, it's very difficult. We want to have a group text. We want to have a weekly coring where we come together and share on Zoom with, how many people did we personally sponsor? Create this team. The success of your business, the long-term strength of your business is going to be based on how strong the relationships you have with the people that make up your business or your enterprise, if you will. Okay. It is the grout. It is the cement that keeps those bricks. And it's the strength of that cement or that relationship that's going to have the long lasting term, and sustainability of your business. Okay. These are the types of things that build that relationship. Okay. So seize the opportunity to participate in any type of a campaign or program like this,
Right.
which I have a feeling this is going to be something we do for many, many years.
Let's go to question number 2. Can a UFO be part of 2 or more accountability groups, Jim?
They could, but I would recommend just be part of the one accountability group. Use it for everything. Keep it really, really simple. And as Kevin was talking about the 7 UFOs or less for maximum, I saw someone say I have 8 or 9. Guys, that's okay. It's not set, you're disqualified. We just don't want you doing 15, 20, 30 when you should be breaking into smaller teams. And you should really be in one group. Make it simple on yourself, right, Kevin? That's what we're saying.
Let's go to question number 3. Can UFOs change teams halfway through the challenge?
You can't cut the team. You know what I mean? You stick it out. Now let's ask the next question, Andrew, though.
Okay. Can team members be added later during the challenge?
Yes. In fact, here's what we're hoping. The reason we'd like you to start with 3 or 4 is as new teammates come on, we would love this to be their training ground. We would love it. Andrew sponsors someone next week. He's adding that person onto his 53 challenge team. If Kevin sponsors someone the next week, he's adding him in, and they are learning that weekly we do accountability. They get in the right habits. They're getting the texts. They're doing all the things like that. So your teams could continue to grow throughout the year and get bigger and bigger.
And I get a question all the time. Well, suppose we bring somebody in and they register 2 quarters in to the 4-quarter challenge. So what?
Right.
So what? What is the real point here, folks? Really, being in the top 11, is that the real objective? Dennis's real objective? No. What the real objective is that you're showing the plan, you're selling the business, you're selling the product, you're selling your programs, you're attending the meetings and trainings, you're growing your business. It's about making money. Okay, that's really what this is really all about. And that's what these activities are designed to do. So why not? I would be encouraging every new person that comes into the business to immediately be registered and part of a team.
Yes.
In order to get into the rhythm of doing what we do to make money.
I would go as far as to say, when you get done with this year of doing this, you're going to have the best trained team you've ever had of new people coming in and knowing what to do. Because for the first time, not only is it the getting started guide, but then it's the measure, monitor, adjust weekly on what you're doing with it. So it'll be great.
Well said, Jim and Kevin. The 5th question quickly is, must all team members be linked in the same lineage or genealogy?
No. Maybe you're best friends with somebody who's not, because of our open GMTSS, we become great friends with people who aren't on our team. Well, if you want to work with them, work with them. That's fantastic. It does not have to be the same genealogy.
Very good. Number 6, will the leaderboard display individual or team names? I think you mentioned it earlier, the individual.
Yeah.
Number 7, are the points awarded based on individual or team performance? I think you know the answer to that as well.
It's individual. And remember, we've got you in a team because we want it to be a team sport, but individually is where you're going to achieve the success you want to have as well. So you can't hide behind the team either.
We're trying to create a culture of accountability. That's why we're requiring a team, so that we're introducing the environment of being accountable to something bigger than just yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, exactly. And you've heard JR said for years and years, doing the business with someone, and so that's why we made it 3. It's great to have a partner in 2, but 3 is even better and manageable. And of course, it'll increase the chances that one's going to stay consistent at performing these tasks and activities. Last 2 questions. Number 8, when and how often do participants need to submit the report? Jim?
Sunday night by 11:59, but do not wait to the last minute. Get it done Saturday. Get it done Sunday during the day. Don't wait till 11:59 Eastern, because if you turn it in after that, it will not count for the week. That we're not going to go back and make exceptions. It's like a Form 1000. If you don't get it done on time, well, sorry, you had 3 months to do it. Here you've got all weekend to get it done, and it takes 5 minutes.
And the last question, does the team leader need to consolidate the team scores?
No,
because it's not about the team. Okay. It's about we consolidate team scores with respect to the 90-day MUFO action plan, because you're almost required to be, engaged as a team. The 53 challenge is the same weekly tasks and activities that we associate with, 90-day MUFO action plan. And so it's just, if you're doing the 90-day, you register your team for the 53, it automatically just swipes your individual performance. Okay. You don't have to submit 2 reports. Everything is one. Okay. But for the 90-day, you have to do some extra teamwork, because really that's what our business is about. Okay. But for the 53 challenge, it's just going to take the individual. So there's no consolidation, required if you're solely going to just do the 53 challenge.
Thank you, Kevin. Right. Our brains are on. Our brains are turned on.
And a lot of those categories, Andrew, will be tracked automatically by the company as well. Exactly. So if you write down, I sponsored 3 qualified people and you didn't do it, it's not going to show up that you did 3, because it'll be matching to what we have at the company records coming in, showing what we did.
And we can validate everything. I just let everybody know.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead, Andrew.
I know your brain is turned on to the max right now, and but I just want to say one thing, and then Kevin, you can wrap this up. We're already a few minutes over time, but and I think Jim, you alluded to it in the very beginning. It's going to be great to hear from people toward the top or on the leaderboards each week, and hear from their experiences. And I feel like, as we've all learned, what you set in motion carries in motion, and success breeds more success. And I think that as a global community of entrepreneurs, learning what people are doing to get the results and having the fun that they're having. And I just think it's going to be really inspiring as we all work together collectively as a team and make a lot of progress over the next 5-6 months. So Kevin, you want to provide us with some closing?
I'll just end it here. Dennis was very fond of always saying, you heard him, on closing out, announcements and things like that, every day can be an uplifting and an empowering experience. Okay. Every day can be an uplifting and empowering experience. And the key here is, the key operating concept or message here is it can be. Okay. It can be. And that means there's a choice. Okay. There's a decision to be made. I'm either choosing to make it an opportunity, for the day, or choose not to. But it's a choice. Okay. It can be whatever you want it to be. That was his point. It can be powerful, uplifting, and empowering every single day when you wake up. And I think everybody that knew Dennis, that he exuded that. I mean, that's one thing about Dennis, and I miss tremendously, is he really, every day when you always felt better. He'd always, I don't care if crap was coming down all over your head, he'd always find something that was like, this is going to be an uplifting day. Okay. And God bless him. I'm going to miss him terribly because, I needed that kind of, I needed that. But, we're hoping that everybody's going to make the decision to accept this challenge, stay focused, stay the course, and not just accept the challenge, to participate in the challenge and show up every week by turning in your form. I'm talking about showing up and showing the business plan to people every week, creating new BV, implementing and executing these activities that are part of the challenge, not just showing up to the meeting, not just showing up and submitting the form, not just showing up. Okay. This just showing up isn't getting it done. Andy Webb, he just says this every time, to the point, we build from event to event, event to event, event to event. I mean, it's like a broken record with him. We build from event to event. And you've got to realize every weekending Friday to every weekending Friday is an event. In our business. We get paid, it's payday. Okay. Yes. So that is probably most eventful day we have in our business, is weekending Fridays. And the goal and objective is to do something in between those Fridays in order to make the following Friday a very uplifting and an empowering experience. Okay, so, it's not about just participating. It's just not about, being part of the group. It's about doing something. When we collectively create, implement and execute the activities, we create numbers. And when we create numbers, okay, we get exponential results. But everybody has to be doing a little bit. Everybody has to be blocking the person they've been assigned to block. Everybody has to carry the ball, not fumble the ball. Everybody has a job to do. And if everybody does their little job, the entire team succeeds. And that's really what this is all about. So remember, when you look in the mirror, okay, and you basically say to yourself, well, I really didn't do much today. I didn't do much this week. I'm not really going to be turning in. Okay, that's okay for you. But you need to realize you're letting your team down, because your team needs your input to create the numbers that could be if everybody did their share. So just remember, you're responsible and accountable to something greater than just your individual self in this model. Okay. And that's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Jim and Kevin. Our brains are turned on for sure.
They turn them on. Turn them on.
The course.
Kevin, you put that great, and it's what JR has always said: we have to succeed so other people will succeed. And when you're in that small team, you raise the bar. And as the bar gets raised, people will do more. So thank you both so much for tonight. This has been, really incredible. I want to remind you, next week we'll be on with establishing a possibility list and consistently adding to it. That's going to be a workshop. And we'll have 2 different trainers on with us. And that workshop, you got to be prepared. You're going to be building that names list. And how you're going to add to it so that you're ready, because you're going to need names as you're building through this. And then, of course, as the weeks go on, we have multiple different things that we'll be covering. But really, let's end it by saying, if you do a little more than you're doing now, each week, you're going to be doing great at the end of 52 weeks. Like Kevin said, it's not being the hero. It's being a component of a team that becomes the hero, and you can do that. So guys, as always, it's a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for taking time out of your schedules to share this. Let your teammates know they can go right to Facebook and watch this. We did stream this live, so if someone missed it, they want to see it, they can see it there, and we'll have it out next week on video as well for people. With that, guys, I'd like to say good night, or for Kevin, good morning, buddy. Keep drinking the coffee, and we'll talk to everyone later. And let's end it with stay focused and stay the course.
Bye.
Take care.